Estamos con Luke Dasher en la BTC Prague y vamos a conversar un poco sobre Ocean, sobre el debate de Return y todo el tema de los órdenes. How are you, Luke?
Okay.
You're okay? Okay. Do you want to share your perspective about what's going on nowadays with this up return change in Bitcoin Core and all of this surge in Bitcoin Nuts users? What is your perspective about what is happening? Do you feel you told me just recently that you don't feel it's actually a debate? Why is that?
No, it's not a debate because there's only one correct answer. It's not one opinion versus another opinion. Bitcoin has been under attack since the end of 2022 by these spammers, and instead of defending Bitcoin for people who control it are now actively attacking Bitcoin as well by enabling more spam than we already have.
Do you perceive Bitcoin Core developers as attackers right now?
Some of them, yes.
Yeah, and why is that?
Because they are attacking Bitcoin.
In which manner?
They've removed the limit, the spam filter for spam. That's insufficient right now because of the new spam that started in 2022, but they're also removing this filter that has been effective for the last 14 years or so.
Yeah, but even with the filter, people was still able to introduce images, JPEGs to the Bitcoin blockchain. What difference does it make to remove the filter or not in your perspective?
Well, really, the filter should be fixed so that they can't add the images at all. But expanding it so they can add it more ways and different ways, multiple ways at the same time, just makes the problem worse, exacerbates everything.
And what do you think about the argument about the roundabouts ways that companies like Cider, I think is the name, with this bridge that they built? Like, I mean, what do you think about the different ways people have found out to elude the filter and introduce even more weight on the Bitcoin contability and the Bitcoin blockchain?
It's easy to filter all these new various spams that someone might come up with. The issue comes if they can gamify the spam, and the only way to gamify it is to make it easily filterable as well. So it's very easy to filter the real problematic stuff.
And what about the argument of that filtering it's a way of censorship? What do you think about that?
It's complete nonsense.
Okay.
To censor someone, you need to prevent any miner anywhere at any time from mining their transaction. And that's not something spam filters can do. The only way spam filters are 100% effective ever for any given transaction is if every single miner agrees that it is spam. And that's never going to be the case unless mining is centralized, which is something that I'm also working to solve.
So what is the effective purpose of a filter then if miners will still be able to mine the transaction?
The Bitcoin network assumes the majority of mining hash rate is not malicious and will also be spam filtering. But even if the miners are not spam filtering the best to themselves, if the relay nodes are filtering, the transactions, the spam will never get to the miners in the first place. It only the truly malicious miners who actively go seek out the spam, try to bypass the relay network, they're the only ones that will end up mining it, and they only find a certain percentage of blocks, not nearly all of them.
And you told me that was something you were working on with Ocean, maybe?
Right.
Yeah.
With decentralizing mining with Ocean.
Okay. Can you explain further about this work you're doing right now with?
Sure. The way the traditional mining pools work, Foundry, Antpool, all the big ones right now, is they basically turn the miner into just a dumb hasher that just does whatever they tell it, and the miner themselves has no say over what goes in the block. And effectively, as far as Bitcoin is concerned, the entire pool is one big miner. So you've got Antpool at 40-some%. That's just one miner with 40-some% as far as Bitcoin is concerned. And so the way we've done it differently at Ocean with our mining pool that we launched a few years ago is we have the miners themselves making their own blocks, effectively solo mining, and we just coordinate the rewards splitting. So we don't make the blocks for the miners, ideally. They make it themselves, and they have control over what goes in their own blocks.
Okay, and have you seen some search or interested of traditional big miners in using Ocean Protocol or like using the pool?
We've seen some. A lot of them care more about regulatory things that we're on the verge of getting, but haven't gotten there quite yet. Should have it later this year, the SOC 2 compliance. Tether recently announced that they were planning to use Ocean for their mining. So there's been a lot of interest in some of the bigger miners as well.
And can you tell us what is your perspective with all this non-debate that it's going on nowadays lately? There's also been like a migration from node runners from Bitcoin Core to Bitcoin Nuts. What is your perspective about this? What do you think about this? What does it implies?
Well, over the past 2 years, and especially this year, it's become more and more clear to myself and others that Bitcoin Core is beyond fixing. It can't be reformed. And so the only alternative at this point is to switch from Bitcoin Core to another implementation. And at the moment, Bitcoin Nuts is probably the safest alternative to Bitcoin Core. So that's where a lot of the effort's been to migrating and informing people that Bitcoin Core needs to stop being used and switch to Bitcoin Nuts. Preferably by October, which is when Bitcoin Core is planning to put out this new version that attacks the network.
Okay. Some of the counter argument that people in Twitter has been arguing about is that the Bitcoin Nuts is not sufficiently peer reviewed, or that is only maintained by you and other few developers. What is your perspective on this? That's
a rumor spread by trolls, more or less. All the work that goes into Bitcoin Core also applies to Bitcoin Nuts just as much. It's not just me, and even aside from the work done in Bitcoin Core, there are other developers who work on and review Bitcoin Nuts as well.
Okay. Last question. How do you foresee the future of mining decentralization? In the perspective that it feels like at the same time bigger pools and bigger miners are getting into the network, there is like this new trend of like Ocean and also demand Stratum V2 implementations, and also this BitAxe hardware that it's growing. It feels like there is a decentralization push as well at the same time, right, that is kind of colliding with the centralization of mining. What is going to happen with mining in the next few years?
Right now it's just Ocean offering the decentralized pool concept. Hopefully, as things progress, as Datum gets more mature, more pools will eventually adopt it as well. The BitAxe side, there's also decentralization of the hardware production. Not the chips yet, but I believe they're working on that as well. And hopefully, as that stuff progresses, it will also get to a higher hash rate where it becomes more and more relevant to overall network hash rate.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Luke.